Welcome back to our Meet the Candidates interview series. We now have Fred Dyson running for the open seat in the Chugiak-Eagle River District. How are you today?
I am well.
I'm going to get right into it. What makes you the most qualified candidate for this seat?
Well, just experience and time, both in the community and in government. I served on the assembly before and in a number of years in the legislature. Just been pretty active.
If voters elect you, what is your first priority or first issue you want to address? Actually,
a couple. Because of a significant increase in the drug abuse in our community and low-level crime, property crimes and so on, that has been accelerating and is a great concern to the community. The second thing is the city has significant financial problems that are not easily solved, and they're going to have to make some tough decisions, and there are things that city government is doing that they're going to not be able to afford to continue doing, and so some tough calls have got to be made on that.
Well, that brings me to my next question for you. I want to get your thoughts on the budget the Assembly just passed. What would you have done differently?
Well, anticipating where it's going, and there's not enough money to do everything. I mean, there are obviously probably some efficiencies that we gained, but they've got to quit doing some activities that are not the core function of government, and that's going to be hard.
What activities might those be? Do you have ideas?
Well, some of them are sacred cows, but we've got to preserve public safety and infrastructure, road clearing, safety issues like that, and combating the crime stuff. So those are primary functions of government. Other things out on the edge, of landscaping, parks, all those kind of things are less essential. And although the parks, libraries, and sports are very important to me, they don't meet the top priority criterion.
Would you support a sales tax as a way to take some of the burden off of property tax owners?
If there are no other solutions to the fiscal problem, the answer is yes. But that'll be very difficult to do because it requires a charter change and citizen approval. So that'll be an uphill fight for the city.
What grade would you give the Muni on how it's dealing with the homelessness issue right now?
Yeah, our present mayor is an old friend, and we served in the legislature together, and he's a good guy and I think good-hearted. And I think he wants to do the right kind of thing. The direction he's going is expensive. It's valid, but expensive, and it's going to be very challenging to find the resources to do the kind of things that Ethan wants to do. And I give him an A for effort and caring. I think the solutions he's at are difficult, if not impractical, given the financial situation.
Is some of his efforts regarding homelessness, are those some activities or areas in the budget that you were talking about earlier where you might see a need to trim some fat there?
I wouldn't say fat. I think that what Ethan wants to do are valid parts of the solution, but they're very expensive.
All right. The mayor wants to grow the police force by another 56 officers this next fiscal year. I know you said public safety is one of your priorities. Do you think there are things other than hiring more officers that the Muni can do to address public safety concerns?
Yes, but he's on the right track. And things like community patrols, neighborhood watch, and so on can augment what the police are doing. And more awareness, things that people are trying to do. Don't leave your car running at the curb while you run in to pick up something at the pharmacy or so on. And more surveillance cameras for homes and businesses. And we need more prosecutors, and we're way backed up on prosecuting people for shoplifting, smash and grab, and all that sort of thing. So we have people out on bail who've already committed a couple of those crimes, and they need to deal with those much quicker. And the cops are overrun with requests. Sometimes they're backed up for hours as they go to the high priority crime scenes, you know, and the minor stuff drifts and slides, and it's just an unfortunate reality.
And so you think ways that we can address that would be hiring more officers and then working on things like community patrols?
Yes, I do. And the process of selecting, training, screening prospective officers takes time. And some of those positions he wants to fill are presently vacant. But yes, it's got to be done.
The
And
mayor,
that's going to mean other things are going to suffer in the budget.
all right. The mayor has said he will not allow our police department to round up refugees for immigration services, even under the threat of losing federal funds. Do you agree or disagree with that?
If they are convicted felons or facing trial and so on, I believe that the local government ought to cooperate and deliver those folks to the federal authorities. And I don't know where Ethan is on that. My guess is if they have a criminal record, he is fine with cooperating with the federal authorities. Ultimately, if Ethan is talking about us being a, quote, classic sanctuary city, no, I'm not in agreement, but I don't know where he's at on that.
Do you think the city should find a way to allow ride-sharing companies like Uber and Lyft to start operating here?
Yes, and particularly in Chugach Eagle River, the taxi service is marginal for us. We have citizens will call for a ride to get to the airport for a scheduled flight, and the taxi doesn't show up, and they don't get notified, and it really leaves them in the lurch. Plus, we have a significant population of seniors who just want to ride to the grocery store, and having a cab go 15 miles out there with no revenue for a 3-mile trip doesn't make sense for the taxi cab companies. And I'd be glad to see us have a carve out where that service, an Uber type service, can work in our area, and particularly for the seniors and handicapped folks.
Okay, last question for you. What is one promise that you would like to make to voters right now that you will fulfill if elected?
Yeah, I'll certainly be diligent. My background is engineering and pretty good on details, facts, and logic, and I will pursue that, hopefully with courage, and but practical things that'll work. I'm quite concerned about civil liberties, and will be zealous to protect those freedoms as we work forward. And I think there are people in the administration and a given assembly who do not share that perspective, and that'll be an interesting discussion.
Would you feel like you were in the minority sharing that perspective?
I probably will be in a minority, and we will have some interesting discussions. Happens to be that Eric Croft and Forrest Dunbar are old acquaintances and friends, and looking forward to working with them again.
All right. Well, Fred Dyson, running for the open seat in Chugach Eagle River, thank you for your time.
You are welcome.
Best of luck.